Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I am really excited to have Dina Apostolou here, the Senior Director of Dynamics and Biz Apps Marketing for Microsoft, and my opportunity to connect with her to ask her some questions just around what's going on in the marketplace right now. We're going to chat a little bit about some of the momentum, and then we're going to talk specifically about Wave 2. So first of all, Dina, thank you for joining me today. Great to see you.
It's nice to see you, and thank you so much for having us and giving me the opportunity to talk through some of the latest innovation and our business progress.
So, Dina, I think everybody's really interested. I mean, we've been going through some interesting times, of course, here, but there's been a lot of awesome, momentum and things going on. So, you want to talk a little bit about that, and I know you've want to, share some slides here after we get into the conversation bit.
Absolutely. I'd love to share what's going on with the business. And so the first thing I'll do is go ahead and talk a little bit about the success with Dynamics 365 and the momentum that we're seeing as it relates to the customer engagement side of the business. This past year, past 12, 18 months has really just been phenomenal. And a few stats that I have here just to share that, David, I know you've seen at Inspire and we've talked about in the past, but as we think about our customer base moving with Microsoft to the cloud, over 95% of those customers have gone with us on that journey. As we think about the investments that we've made in the platform to one version, our existing base of customers, 100% of them are on that latest version. So that means that customers can get the latest updates that are pushed out from the cloud, and they're receiving the latest updates that we send out monthly. Fortune 500 customers, again, great progress with, those businesses, and that they're choosing Dynamics 365 for their business processes and to engage with prospects and customers. And one of the latest and fastest growing areas of our business is Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. That's our Microsoft Customer Data Platform solution. And what we've seen is like nearly 50% of customers that are coming in are new to Dynamics because this interoperates and works with third-party CRM systems. And so the momentum has been extremely strong, and we're energized by this and how we're helping customers, especially right now, weathering through the current crisis and setting them up for future success. We have some great customer logos and again, customers that you have helped. So eLogic has helped on this journey with us to reinvent how, when, and how they're engaging with their customers and end users.
No, this is a great overview from the momentum side. Talking a little bit more specifically, Dina, what about some of the differentiation you're seeing in the market for Microsoft? How is that all going for you?
It's going really well. And so, yeah, it's going really well, and you teed that up nicely. And so Microsoft has been recognized as a leader. I'm just sharing what the latest looks like from the Gartner Magic Quadrants, as well as a latest around the Forrester Wave for the customer analytics rated research. But again, we're just really excited about how Dynamics is showing up in 4 placements in terms of leadership. And so when we think about some of these areas like field service management, calling out, Microsoft's strengths around our platform, and we had the most amount of users coming to field service in the past year compared to other vendors, but the flexibility of deployment across private, public, and government clouds made us really stand out. Of course, the integration with Azure and IoT, as well as the rest of the Dynamics ecosystem, makes us really strong. And that's kind of the theme that we started to see, with a lot of these rated research instruments, is that, Gartner is naming us a leader because of that differentiation with AI, with IoT capabilities, with mixed reality, and especially as we think about the Power Platform and the automation capabilities that really natively work with Dynamics 365. So that's kind of the summary around, how we feel like we have responded really well to the market and how the market is picking us up. As we look at customer analytics and Forrester, this was our inaugural time that we've showed up in an analyst report. And so it's outstanding that Customer Insights has been named a leader and showing up for the first time. And that really speaks to how our enterprise CDP solution can democratize how we are delivering out-of-the-box models built on Microsoft AI as we think about ease of use, AI for the enterprises, and making it accessible to not just data scientists, but really to business users. So those are some of the themes that you could think about as our roundup to our leadership placement in the market.
No, that is awesome. And I think, from our standpoint, working with you all and in the, the manufacturing sector in particular, we're just seeing some really interesting momentum there, across field service and some of the things that you were describing around, how people are looking at this as a next generation of service, being a little less contactless, and how that's all going. It's also interesting on the sales side. What we're seeing is a really big move to people thinking about digital selling and how that's going to be a more positive impact as well. So across the board, we're seeing this in manufacturing. Certainly, some sectors are more hot than others, obviously, but that's been a common theme for us, even on the manufacturing customers. So that's awesome. So let's jump into a little bit more specifics around Wave 2. We always I love actually the fact that they're called waves, because it does feel like there's just like a tidal wave of things coming all the time. And I'm always amazed that you're always able to keep on top of all this. But it's incredible what's coming in Wave 2. Do you want to kick off a few of the key themes and give us a bit of an overview of what's coming over the next few months?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is. You said it well, which is, to keep up with, what's going on, the depth and the breadth of innovation that's coming from our engineering team is just outstanding, and it's in response to really helping customers. And so, before I jump into some of the specific highlights, I think it's first most important that we acknowledge, where we are, and I think why. We are uniquely positioned as Microsoft, and so I'm going to go beyond just business applications, but really about Microsoft and how we recognize the need to address critical moments for our customers, our partners, not only in crisis, but how we're reshaping and rebuilding for the economy. And so those types of insights and opportunity can really allow us to make sure that we are building the right technology to help customers that are really needing to respond to their end users, to stay connected and to retain the customers that they have so they can drive more value in this new digital business environment, and that they're able to keep their lights on and maintain the business continuity. And AI and insight-driven decisions to improve cost of operations are super critical right now. And so this pandemic has really changed the way that obviously we work and we live, and it's happening both in our businesses as well as our end users, our consumer lives. And so those are some of the themes that start to emerge in terms of thinking about how we've prioritized our investments, our roadmap investments over the next 12 months or so. But as we think about the shift to a remote everything, there's specific scenarios that our customers are telling us in the near term that they need help to urgently address. So from standing up contactless shopping, curbside pickup, to establishing distributed customer service teams around the world, to ensuring that manufacturing plants can get up and running to keep up with the demand that's needed in the market. These are just some of the scenarios that we're seeing customers looking for vendors such as Microsoft to help them to learn fast and evolve with agility. So with that, I think it really paints the stage in terms of where we're heading from a perspective of the Wave 2 highlights. And so Wave 2 is just a plethora of investments across the applications. And I'm going to go ahead and jump down and share with you the products that I'll cover off on, if that works for you, David.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's do it.
Okay, good. So Wave 2 release. Some of the themes I think that are top of mind that gives us an opportunity to stand out and to help organizations is we talk a lot about the digital feedback loop. So I think very persistent across all of these applications, you're going to hear a lot about the ability to bring the data and AI together to complete that feedback loop, to help businesses to complete and gather insights and apply them at speed. And that's one consistent theme. The second one is around using those insights to deepen relationships with customers, to tune in, to understand what customers care about. So whether it's creating a 360-degree profile of your customer, or it's how you are listening with intent as a seller, using AI and transcription to cue into conversations, or whether it's an ability for you to remotely have an expert call into a frontline worker using mixed reality, such as remote assist, to be able to give them the ability to improve the first time fix rates. And so those are important aspects of our investment. And then finally, the thing that underpins each one of these is just around creating trustworthy experiences that organizations can stand behind. And so trust and privacy and governance is really core to our values and how these products have been built. So I typically like to start off with looking at the front end of a sales cycle, or you could say a customer journey. And so customer insights, which I've already just set up for you in the upfront, is really our CDP solution that allows an organization to take the data that is siloed around the customer and sitting in fractured experiences and bringing all that data together from a full range of sources so that a business can have an understanding of a single view of customers in real time. So whether a seller or the department across marketing, sales, and service, depending on what the role is in terms of the life cycle, they have the real-time insights to personalize engagements across all touch points. And so when you think about some of those things that are top of mind for Wave 2, it's really around, in the first box, is expanding the holistic view of the customers to add more data sources. So it's the ability to ingest data from web, mobile, connected devices to give organizations a view not only of how they're engaging with your product or service or at that moment in time, but it also allows you to start to understand before someone is a known user, what is their behavior. We have augmentation data and enrichment. So as you think about in B2B scenarios, address validation to help businesses understand their customers better, their locations, their brand affinity, and their preferences. So those things are top of mind. And the second category, again, is more around giving you the insights to have that holistic view so that you have the right models. So as we think about this, it's about out-of-the-box models around customer churn, customer lifetime value. These are automatically generated. So no longer are they requiring a data scientist, but an organization is able to update models as they change, and these high quality models are really due to our schematic understanding due to the data stored in the platform. And of course, we have no cliff extensibility. So whether you want to use customer insights as a finished SaaS application, or if you want to go do custom reporting, back in Power BI for visualization, or be able to take those profiles directly into Azure Synapse for custom model predictions, we give organizations that flexibility on their terms to be able to do that. And then in the third pillar, as I mentioned, around trust is very crucial and important to data about customers. And so being built on top of Azure provides us with the greatest security to meet those requirements. And so as we think about this next wave, it's around expanding the requirements for US principalities, GDPR, extending certificates, and then this starts to flow over to especially about patient care and privacy as we think about healthcare and HIPAA compliance as well.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yes. Lots of momentum here in customer insights.
Well, once you have that profile of the customer, it's like, what do you do with it? And really the highlight here around Dynamics 365 for marketing, and this product has really taken off over the past 18 months or so. It's around how can you increase the various channels that you're using to connect with your customers. And so that's really what Wave 2 is about for Dynamics 365 marketing. It's no more of an important time for organizations to connect with customers digitally and at scale. And so our theme is really around more channels that we're making available, the hosting of webinars through Teams and social posting. We take a lot of top requests from customers through our forums around improvements, and so things like Journey Designer to simplify editing and segmentations, and day-to-day usability is really around ease of use. And then of course, as I just said, AI and data is at the center of we prioritize that with everything that we're doing. And so that is more in terms of the infrastructure and enhanced integrations that we have going on. Of course, the ease of use also plays into being able to take segments around your customers from customer insights, and then to be able to trigger, action and automation with Dynamics 365 marketing.
Makes sense. No, thanks for that update.
On sales. So sales is all about realizing the synergies of sales automation and having pre-built AI to maximize sales revenue and productivity of sellers. And so it's about bringing the data, AI, and the workflow to help sellers who are at the interface of customer relationships to be able to deliver delightful experiences. And the themes for sales product is around the velocity selling. So in the first category, it's all about helping sellers to be more proactive with guided selling, to streamline by giving sellers a cue, knowing what to work through, what the trajectory looks like, having the AI infused into the embedded workflow to make it more intuitive for sellers. The second one is around understanding customers. So conversation intelligence, as I mentioned before, it's not just about increasing efficiency, but there's auto note taking, but seeking competitor keyword mentions and auto actions. And so relationship insight starts to bring core assets of Office and LinkedIn together so that sellers start to know more about their customers. Things like customer voice, which I'll talk about as well, is that the ability to trigger and understand and act based on your customer sentiment. So as a seller, you know what's going on and how your customer is feeling at that time about some of the decisions that they're evaluating. And then the third category around streamlined productivity and collaboration, it's around delivering an experience that's really streamlined, thinking about mobile. So even if folks aren't in the field, day to day working with customers, that they're at home and they're managing, both work and maybe schooling children at home, and they want the flexibility to not be locked down to their laptop or PC. And so it's about, giving sellers the flexibility that they need, improving navigation and search, as well as improving, through ranking and results of this. And at the core of this, it's about building the trust with the customers and infusing the workflow with AI.
Yeah, and we're going to see a ton of, this is fantastic. We're going to see a ton of value for our manufacturing customers, in particular in this area. Just, our personal experience has been just that digital selling, that has really accelerated here in the last 6 months around, leveraging a lot more the work you guys are doing with LinkedIn. The whole brand new mobile experience is fantastic. So we are excited about these highlights.
And then, the one thing that we shared at Inspire with our partner community is around customer voice. So in a modern world, if you're not listening to your customers, you're going to be extinct. And so a view to your customer can't sit in a silo, as I've talked about before. And so as you think about bringing the voice of the customer and the customer sentiment into your 360-degree view and the profile, that's what's really critical. So that's what the promise is for Dynamics 365 customer voice. It's about taking the feedback from customers, ensuring they feel like it's not in a black box. So it's not just to capture it, but it's about turning it into action. And so we're unique with Power Automate to trigger this workflow, the visualization of insights, with Power BI. People want thought leadership, out of the box templates. And so we're partnering with different industry best practices in firms to bring those survey designs into customer voice so that we can help organizations to trigger this type of workflow most immediately. And so that's really what customer voice is about. And we're really excited about how this fits into our customer data platform story and our vision.
Got it. And Dina, in this particular case, do people need to be running Dynamics 365 marketing or customer insights in order to use customer voice, or will it be a standalone solution?
It is a standalone, yeah. And it's a standalone. So similar to customer insights, it is a standalone application. So it can be individually adopted, although, again, there's first and best class integrations with the rest of the Dynamics portfolio.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll look forward to digging in here more, because this is definitely a key ask for customers. Everybody is looking for more and more, as you talked about, interactivity and feedback from their customers in an easy and non-intrusive kind of way. So that's right.
And as we start to think about that as well, and being able to think more about the touch points that customers are having with brands, not as much around physical, but through online and call center, Dynamics 365 Commerce is designed to provide an end-to-end omni-channel experience with shoppers. This product only launched less than a year ago, so it's all still really recent for us, but great leadership that we've had in the market and momentum around our commerce solution. And so many businesses have a variety of systems to piece together to make the experience feel connected and friction-free. And our commerce solution brings together all these experiences to help businesses evaluate purchase, as you think about evaluation, purchase, post-commerce purchase, and shopping with the back-end experience of operations and fulfillment. And so this is really optimized for the post-COVID world that, we're living in. I shouldn't even say post-COVID, but the world that we're living in and for the future. And so when we think about the three areas of investments for commerce, the first one is really about digital commerce capability. So everyone's shopping online, and so it's more about making that experience more intuitive, or as intuitive as possible. So businesses can spin up an e-commerce through an enhanced storefront as quickly as possible, taking multiple variations of experimentation so that you can adapt the shopping and the buying experience to make it as flexible as possible with no code. So as a marketer, you can start to author the site very easily to optimize the site based on test tried conversion to improve experiences. The second area is around infusing AI and intelligence across the process flows that we're supporting. So some examples, as we think about AI-driven product recommendations that allow upsell and cross-sell capabilities across touch points in a digital journey. At the same time, we're bringing a different light. So not only to recommend products that are being looked at by a user, but to start to recommend different products that look similar based on visual metadata so that the engagement of the shopper on the site is much higher. And so those capabilities we are very unique in bringing to market. So as you think about as well providing search and using Bing and anonymous data there as a way to improve, the search experience of products in the catalog in your online experience, as well as protecting against fraud for purchase protection online or through stores as loss prevention. So all these experiences are built natively with Dynamics 365 and the Microsoft ecosystem, and it really helps organizations to take an omni-channel approach, as you think about headless commerce and whether, you have a need that is to shift to online or to keep physical, storefronts up and running in brick and mortar. So we're building a rich ecosystem with partners, and ISVs, and making these solutions available on AppSource as well for where customers need, customization and have specific use cases.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some, we're seeing definitely a big degree of interest around commerce in our manufacturing customers. Everybody is looking for that channel to really start to light up, and people have dabbled in it to some extent, and some people have gone a little bit further, but they're looking for that opportunity to say, look, we have got to be flexible in selling direct when, especially when other opportunities or other options get blocked from us. So definitely we've seen a lot more uptake in that in the last 6 months.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I just see, with anything that I've talked about here in terms of customer insights or marketing or sales and commerce, I mean, the one thing that we've noticed is that customers are able to get up and running quickly. So no longer are these implementations taking a long time. Customers have a need now, and they're betting on Dynamics 365 to help them to do that so that they can take their investment for the COVID world and ensure that it's going to be flexible enough for the 12 to 18, 3 years out as well.
Right. So let's jump into the customer service and field service side of the Wave 2 highlights. Was we are excited to see what is coming and talk more about that.
Yeah, one of my favorite areas is really this part of the business. It's really special as you think about the need to provide the world-class customer care, the customer experience and the customer service that us as consumers and as business users we expect. You expect that, and so I look at this portfolio as an ability to empower those users to provide the best experience for their brands, their businesses, and we do that. And at the core of it is around giving those individuals, those agents, those technicians the insights that they need to be able to serve customers at a fast rate. And through any channel that a customer is engaging. And so that's what I would say is really prominent. So our investments for the past 8 months have really put us on a solid footing. And it's re-energizing, I would say, our customers and the market in terms of where we're headed. I talked about some of our leadership placements in terms of both field service management as well as the customer engagement center as well. And so our investments have started to show how we can help organizations to have more of that seamless, efficient, and intuitive experience with our solution. So 3 key areas for Dynamics 365 customer service. The first area is just around the agent productivity. So giving agents the ability to engage multiple sessions simultaneously with improvements to timeline and email productivity tools, which increases the efficiency of the experience. And so that's really about just that tight focus on productivity. At this time, when you start to see a 2x increase of difficult calls coming into a call center, it's really important for organizations to think about their ability to scale and to also to keep their costs down. The second is around that omni-channel experience. So we're expanding configuration and integration possibilities, as well as bringing messaging and personalization options to our existing set of capabilities. So as you think about persistent chat on your site, or the ability to configure experiences for your agents in the contact center, it's no longer just about, you know, tailoring them maybe for a manager for coaching, but you have different agents that are sitting there, whether you have first line of support or you have more difficult calls and an agent base that is helping to solve those. But we now are giving an easy way to go and configure that type of experience. And then again, integrated insights and AI-driven suggestions, focusing on embedding customer service insight capabilities directly within the agent and manager UX within customer experience. So David, I'm not quite sure if you remember, but customer service insights has been a standalone offering, but we're just building it into the core of our product, bringing that experience together, which I think makes it just that much more rich. So the customer service insights aspect of it is about emerging cases, knowing what the impact to customer satisfaction is. And so by having it infused in that value into the core, it's in line for the agent and the supervisor so that it's one experience. We have new AI, like for knowledge articles and insights and suggestions as well, that give, you know, an ability to update cases real time and to solve those quickly, so that if an agent is getting those suggestions, as well as real time language translation based on real time insights. So some tremendous investments that our team has made there.
Yeah, this is going to have a big impact for our customer service, you know, customers that have been, you know, getting that whole next level of productivity. And like you said, I think the big thing that's happening right now is that they've covered with some of the self-service things all the easier questions. So the questions that are coming in that get past that first level, or that they're coming into the agents, are tougher, like you said, tougher questions and more comprehensive. And so the ability to make that process more productive is huge.
That's right. And I think one of your favorite areas is around our field service offering.
Indeed.
Yes. So Dynamics 365 field service, and this highlight is around proactive service delivery. So again, I would say staying on the theme of helping technicians to drive technician success, scheduling as well. So we continue to add intelligent capabilities, including the new field service dashboard for monitoring KPIs and the ability to send work order completion surveys with customer voice and work order completion metrics. As it relates to manufacturing, some things, you know, around hierarchy and functional action for assets, you know, as we think about manufacturers and the need to have technicians come in and service equipment where it's sitting with functionality. And so, you know, that's more on the manufacturing side. But as we think about this application, it's all about on-site service with focused investments on, again, the proactive service delivery. For that, we're bringing and enhancing assets, things being serviced to represent a richer hierarchy and functional location to better model for reality. The example of a collection of buildings, rooms within buildings, and the equipment inside the rooms. So this enables, I think, as you could imagine, the ability to kind of look at the collection of things that need to be serviced, and that's giving the technicians a better opportunity to go service those things, proactively through monitoring, and then you can continue to think about, how Azure IoT fits in that as part of a unique piece of what we're able to do, or what we're able to deliver on in terms of the proactive piece. On research scheduling, we're embedding optimization into the new and next generation schedule board experience, which is going to be released in October, and it'll bring our optimization engine into the schedule board so that it's right within the app. It's faster on ramp to the value. In addition, we're releasing predictive travel time between service appointments based on historical patterns. So that, again, allows for optimizing scheduling based on where technicians may be en route or their location, or as time frees up or appointments change. For technician success, we're continuing to enhance the new first-party mobile app that we released in our Wave 1 release back in the spring timeframe, and that leverages the rich capabilities of Power Apps. We're having a fantastic response to our preview. In addition, we're releasing new capabilities with Remote Assist to further increase technician efficiency.
Awesome.
So,
yeah. Yes,
great
this is
stuff here.
fantastic. Yes, we're going through a number of implementations, but one in particular with one of our equipment dealer customers is really that whole technician productivity. So we're going to be using the new Power Apps. We're looking forward to that. Increasing the whole dispatching and scheduling efficiency is going to be big for them. And then the customer communications, back to all the, sort of somewhat of a mega theme of what you've been talking about, but that's, big for them in terms of being able to more accurately, predict for the customer, when are we going to be there,
That's right.
When are we on site, all that, just changing the way that they're interacting with the customers. So fantastic. This is very, very awesome.
Yeah.
So let me just say thank you. I know you are extraordinarily busy with all the things that are going on with Wave 2 and just in general and whatnot. So thank you for carving out some time today to spend with me on this, both on the momentum side, which is awesome. I think we're all feeling it as the partner ecosystem as well, just in terms of the fantastic work that you guys have all been doing on the product team. So thank you on behalf of all the partners. For all the fantastic work you're doing. And then thank you just personally, Dina, for jumping on today and giving us a preview of Wave 2.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. And, we can't provide these innovation solutions for our customers without partners like eLogic. And so you are so core to the value that we can bring to businesses and to help them to drive the right outcomes that they need for the here and now, and then the innovation that they need for the future, and to also carry through for that workforce transformation. So thank you, David, as always. I love to spend time with you and eLogic. So let's do this again in the future.
Yes. All right. To the next wave, we'll do it again. Awesome.
That's right. That sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, Dina, for jumping on. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.